Welcome, everybody. It is National Voters Registration Day, September 22nd, 2020, and we are streaming live on Facebook. I wanted to, while we are still waiting for people to log on, give you a couple of housekeeping details. We will be answering questions and answers at the end of all three speakers speaking today. So you can post them in Facebook and then we will read them out loud as time permits. Also, closed captioning will be available for this recording after the event, and it will be posted on RevUp Texas's website. I am Julie Espinoza. I am the Assistant Director of a Center for Independent Living, Reach of Plano, and I have been part of the coalition of RevUp in Texas for a couple of years, and it's exciting because it gets bigger and better every year, and I think we have had an impact nationally. National Voters Registration Day was started to help people come together and unite, celebrate our democracy, mobilize, and get people out there registered to vote. Last year, over 1 million people were registered on this day, and it's only been around for a few years, and we've already had over 3 million people register because of National Voters Registration Day. If you go to nationalvotersregistrationday.org, you are going to see a wealth of resources, dates, information, everything to help you practice your democratic right. And on your screen, you'll see the website link for nationalvotersregistrationday.org, and you'll see a picture of people registering to vote. And at the bottom, it says www.revuptexas.org. So we're going to run that video now. And I do want to let you know, this video is available for you to download at revuptexas.org.
Hello, I'm Governor Morris. Yes, Governor is my first name. You know, one of the founding fathers. Doesn't ring a Liberty bell? I may not have the name recognition of a Washington or a Franklin, but I wrote the preamble to the Constitution, for crying out loud. You know, we the people. I was also the only signer of the Constitution with a wooden leg. How'd I lose my leg? Well, that's my business. I'm here to remind you that September 17th is Constitution Day. My hope is that every American will think about what American democracy really means and how important it is for every American to vote to protect our democracy. I also want to stress to my fellow Americans with disabilities just how important our voice and our vote is. After all, it is we the people. I wrote that. For more information, please visit www.revuptexas.org.
So remember, go to revuptexas.org to download that video. We have 3 fantastic speakers today that are very knowledgeable and helping all of us to get organized. The first speaker is Bruce Elfant, and he is the Travis County Tax Collector Assessor. And we will have his introduction up on the screen, and I'm going to read to you what it says for those that need that. He was first elected in 2012 as the tax assessor, collector, and voter registrar. Mr. Elfant focuses on customer service, including the expansion and upgrade of online services for customer convenience, assisting property owners with tax payment plans, and initiating public outreach campaigns for consumer education and protection. Travis County has the distinction of having the highest voter registrar rate among Texas's urban counties. Please welcome Bruce Elfant.
Thank y'all so much for having me. So it is great to be with y'all. I wish that we could do this in person like we have in previous years, but we have to stay safe and get past this. As Julie said, National Voter Registration Day was started to be a civic holiday that celebrates our democracy and promotes civic unity. And boy, could we use some civic unity right now. But it also reminds us to check to make sure that we're registered to vote at our current address before the October 5th deadline, voter registration deadline. Sadly, the United States is 100th in the world in voter registration and turnout, and Texas is about 47th. We're proud here in Travis County that we have the highest voter registration rate of any urban Texas county, but we know we have to keep working at it because every day people are moving to and within Travis County, turning 18, becoming citizens and regaining their voting rights. And we want to make it safe and easy for them to participate in the upcoming elections. We really kind of had this easy part down until COVID. We hadn't really thought about the safe, and we have to do everything we can to make sure it's safe as well as easy. And RevUp has been a great partner over the years with the easy part and making sure that people have the easy opportunity to register and vote. Here in Travis County, we have a number of voter registration opportunities. We have trained and deputized about 7,500 volunteer deputy registrars. And before this year, we did it in person and in events all across Austin. When COVID hit, we were the first in the state to move our trainings to a Zoom platform. And we've trained, obviously, thousands of volunteer deputy registrars for Travis County. And we've trained hundreds for other counties as well, where they can go back to their county and take that training and become deputized in their county. Before the virus, we registered voters in schools and businesses and music venues and parks and places of worship and just about every public event you can imagine. We would have a VDR just about on every street corner. But when COVID hit, that just shut us down completely. And literally in April, for the first time ever, we didn't add a single registered voter to our rolls. We'd never seen that before. So we didn't know how long this was going to last, and we still don't. And it forced us to change our game plan to ensure that people could continue to register safely and easily. The first thing we did was make sure that all our post offices and libraries had paper applications that people could come pick up and mail on their own. Over time, our volunteer deputy registrars found safe and easy ways to register voters. They started by putting picnic tables on their front yards, and they were socially distanced, and gloves and masks and sanitizer for the pens. And that started working out pretty well. And before long, some of our VDRs had ventured out to farmers markets and some other public events. And we didn't push anybody. We want to make sure that people feel safe when they're out registering voters. And so for the people who went out, we appreciate it. We want them to stay safe. And for those who don't feel safe, there's a lot of things they can do to help push information out on social media to let people know how they can register and vote. We created a text to register app, which is very similar to what y'all are going to be talking about later. In Travis County, if you text register to I vote, you can fill out your application online. We're not an online voter registration state, unfortunately. So we have to mail you the application so you can sign it, and we send a postage paid envelope. Text register to I vote, and we've had 2,000 or 3,000 respond to that. We're really excited about that. So that's a safe and easy way for people to register to vote who don't feel comfortable leaving their homes. Today, we released a series of PSAs that were produced by the University of Texas football team, Coach Herman and several of the players, encouraging people to register and vote here in Travis County and throughout the state. And we're very excited about that. And the links can be found on the Travis County Tax Office Facebook page. And feel free to grab them and share them. That's what they were produced for. So here we are. We're just 13 days before the October 5th voter registration deadline. And here's really what people need to know about that. Number one, if you're not sure you're registered, you can check your registration status at votetexas.gov if you're not in Travis County, or if you're in Travis County, votetraviscounty.com. Votetexas.gov or traviscounty.com. If you're still unsure about your registration status for whatever reason, our advice is, when in doubt, fill it out. We would rather you be cautious and fill it out than be stubborn and wrong. And so if you're not sure, fill out the application and get it turned in. You can obtain applications, as I said, at any post office or library, or you can actually print out applications at votetexas.gov, print it out, fill it out, and turn it in or mail it in. In Travis County, we're discouraging anybody from mailing anything after October 1st. We're concerned about the delays in the postal system. And if you're going to register or update your address after October 1st, we would prefer that you bring it into our office directly, give it to a volunteer deputy registrar, or deposit it in one of our drop boxes here at our main office or around the county. But mailing the application at the last minute is very problematic, and we don't want to encourage people to do that. Our locations will be open on October 5th until midnight. All the Travis County tax offices and many other locations will be open here till midnight. And that will be on our tax office Facebook page, where you can see the different locations that will be open and available. The 2020 election contests are shaping up to be the most impactful elections of our lifetimes. And the candidates have promised to take our nation, state, and county in very different directions. As American citizens, it's our right and responsibility to help determine our future and to hold those we elect accountable. Abraham Lincoln said, "Elections belong to the people. It's their decision. If they decide to turn their back on the fire and burn their behinds, then they will just have to sit on their blisters." We cannot afford to turn our backs on this fire. We must register and we must vote. So thank you all very much.
Thank you very much. It sounds like some awesome things are happening in Travis County. And that brings to mind another wonderful website that I want y'all to know about. It's the texastribune.org. Their website is filled with valuable information and important dates, as well as the National Voter Registration Day website in Rev Up, Texas. Our next speaker is Grace Shamane, and I'm going to read her bio to you. She is a retired pediatric nurse practitioner. Grace Shamane joined the League in 2012 and has served on the League of Women Voters Texas Board since 2014. She specializes in the use of technology to support the League mission of empowering voters and defending democracy. Empowering voters, defending democracy. We envision a democracy where every person has the right, the knowledge, and the confidence to participate. We believe in the power of women to create a more perfect democracy. So please unmute yourself, Grace.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much, Julie. It's great to be here. I am indeed a retired pediatric nurse practitioner, 30 years, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And I'm so proud to be here working with you guys, helping encourage everybody to register to vote, but not only to register to vote, but be a voter, because registering to vote is just the first step in the process. I do want to let you know that if you register, that for this particular election, I want everybody to try to get things done early. So make a plan to vote and start and make sure that that plan includes voting early. So you want to register to vote early, check your voter registration at votetexas.gov is a very good place to check your registration. We also have a wonderful website called vote411.org. You could also register to vote there or check your voter registration. One fantastic thing that's going on is that vote411.org has now gone live with the nonpartisan League of Women Voters voters guide. So there you could go there and compare candidates and see who you want to vote for. This particular election is so important because not only are you voting for the president and for state level candidates, county candidates, you're also voting for lots of local candidates. It's more important than ever to compare those candidates and bring a list with you of who you want to vote for to the voting booth. You have to write out that list or print a list or print the sample ballot, because this particular election, we're not having any straight party voting. This is an election where for the very first time you vote, there is not going to be something at the top where you just check off Republican or Democrat or Libertarian or whatever. So what you would do is each elected office, you have to go down the list and vote in each office. Okay, that's why it's so important to bring a candidate list with you, and you can create one at vote411.org or go to your county website and write down every candidate that you choose to vote for. It is National Voter Registration Day, and I'm thrilled to be here providing you with this information. Let's see what else we have here. We have many people who, many voters feel comfortable voting by mail, and many voters feel comfortable voting in person. So whichever way you do it, now's the time to make your plan. So if you're going to vote by mail, hopefully you've already filled out that application, because you don't want to put that off to the last minute. Register, check your registration, vote by mail, everything as early as you possibly can, so that you're ready and prepared to take action and use your power by voting. So I really appreciate you being here. If you have any questions or concerns, please look us up on the web at lwvtexas.org, or start comparing your candidates. See what answers they uploaded to our questions at vote411.org. Thank you so much.
Thank
Julie?
you, Grace. Thank you. I love vote411.org. So if you guys have questions, please post them on Facebook, and we will be able to see them and have time, hopefully, to answer all your questions. Our next speaker is Molly Broadway. And Molly is the HAVA, Help America Vote Act trainer for Disability Rights of Texas. Molly Broadway provides technical assistance to county election officials about accessibility for voters with disabilities and ADA compliance. She also collaborates with several community groups to provide voter outreach and advocacy across the state and country. Disability Rights Texas mission is to help people with disabilities understand and exercise their rights under the law, ensuring their full and equal participation in society. Please welcome Molly, and remember to unmute your mic.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for letting me talk with y'all. So what my job is to educate election officials and to make sure that they are doing all they can to best serve voters with disabilities, and to also work with individuals within the community to inform them of their rights as voters and the types of accommodations we can receive, or you can receive. Part of that job also includes a voter rights hotline, a statewide voter rights hotline that we have. And so if you are experiencing any problems when voting, or you just have general questions about voting, feel free to call our hotline, and we will answer your questions in as much real time as possible. I'm going to try to post our hotline number and see if we can get that out to y'all. I was asked to also maybe talk to y'all about, there's a lot of options on how to vote, and one of those is mail-in ballots. You may have heard a lot about it in the last couple months. There's a couple things I'd love for you to know about mail-in ballots, a couple highlights. First of all, if the eligibility guidelines for vote by mail in Texas are to be age 65 or older, to have a disability. If you know you're going to be out of the county during election day or early voting, you can have the ballot sent to your other location outside of the county. And then if you are in jail, you can also, but not convicted of a felony, you can have the ballot mailed to you. It's important to know that a lot of questions have arisen about one's disability status and the definition of disability with the election coming up. And I can tell you that the election, the definition of disability in the Texas Election Code is defined as a sickness or physical condition that provides the voter from appearing at the polling place on election day without a likelihood of needing personal assistance or of injuring the voter's health. What our stance at disability rights is, so that leads a lot up to the individual to decide whether or not they fall under disability guidelines. Our stance at Disability Rights Texas is that under current state and federal laws, if you have a medical condition that puts you at higher risk, if you contract the coronavirus, then you are eligible for a ballot by mail. So there's that. Also note that when applying for ballot by mail under the disability status, you do not have to provide proof of your disability. That is not a requirement. You just have to check the box. If you would like to apply for ballot by mail, know the deadline for that is October 23rd. So the application must be received by your county elections office on October 23rd. And then if you also are curious about where to get one, I would encourage you to contact your county elections office. They can send you one. The Secretary of State's website has a link to ballot by mail applications, or you can call our hotline and we will send you an application for ballot by mail as well. So, should you have any questions, I really encourage you, or you know people that have questions, I encourage you to use that hotline to get in touch with us. If you find yourself voting and there's something that comes up and you're told that you cannot vote in person, some sort of barrier arises, or you can't get into the polling site, please call this hotline number and we will try to solve it in as much real time as possible. And I just hope everybody has a good election season and is able to cast their ballot successfully.
Thank you, Molly. Remember to type in any questions that you have on Facebook in the post. We do have one question. We have someone who would like to know, when can we expect the League of Women Voters voting guide to be available? So I'll let Grace answer that question.
Well, that is a great question. And I'm so happy to tell you that the state guide, or all the state elected officials and the president answers, are up there right now. If you happen to live in the Austin area, that's also available. The other areas, they're coming online this coming week, and everybody across the state of Texas, if you have a league in the area, then you should be able to see what your ballot's going to look like, all the way down from the president, all the way down to the very local elections going on, including your school board. So it's a very wonderful tool to help you decide who you're going to vote for.
Thank you. So remember, keep on typing in those questions. We are going to move on to a video tutorial by Tessa Goodnight with registertovote.org. And register to vote is register and then the number 2, not spelled out, but the number 2, vote.org.
Hello everyone, I'm making a tutorial today to show you a very fast and easy way to register to vote. Now, before you turn off the video because you think you're already registered to vote, the site that I'm going to show you will also allow you to verify your registration. So just in case something's happened and you're not registered the way you thought you were, you'll be able to verify it and make sure you're registered before the deadline is up. The first thing you have to do to get started is open up a web browser application on your phone. On my iPhone, I use Google Chrome. So if you look down in the bottom left-hand corner, you're going to see the red, yellow, and green icon for Google Chrome. So just tap that. Then you're going to tap on the search bar and type in register to the number 2 vote.org and tap go in the bottom right hand corner. This is the first page you're going to see. And registertovote.org will also help you sign up to vote by mail. So once you've gone through the registration process, this site will also help you with a mail-in ballot. We're going to scroll down, and the site's going to ask you for some information to check if you're registered already. I am registered, I've verified that, so I'm just going to use a fake name for demonstration purposes. You'll type in your first name, middle name, and last name. Then tap continue. It's going to ask for your street address, and a zip code. And then your date of birth. Then tap Continue. Now it's going to ask you for some contact information, namely your email and phone number. You have to put in an active email and phone, so I'm going to use my real email address. If you tap the box beside Get Voting Reminders, registertovote.org will send you some really helpful information about elections and even polling places. Now you're going to tap Confirm My Registration. We're in Texas, in Travis County, so select your state and your county. Then tap Register to Vote. So it's letting me know that the state that I'm in does not offer online voter registration. But the great thing about this site is that they will send you the registration information in the mail, and all you have to do is and put it back in a mailbox. You don't even have to pay for any postage. So we're going to tap Register by Mail, and it's going to ask me to confirm my address, so you can put in a different address than the one you just entered. It's showing all the information I've already entered, and then all you need to do is tap I am a US citizen, because that's a requirement to vote. And once you click Submit, they're going to send you that information in the mail, like I said, and all you have to do is return it postage paid. And that's it. Please share this site with anyone who you think might not already be registered to vote, just to remind them that the deadline is coming up very soon in October, and we need as many people to register to vote as possible.
Okay, we have a suggestion from someone. Lena has suggested that if you are worried that your signature won't match, that someone can act as your witness and assist you with your mail-in ballot. The one rule is that you may only witness one person's ballot unless you are helping relatives, a parent, a grandparent, a spouse, or a sibling. She didn't say child. Is child not part of the relative list? Does anyone know the answer to that question?
This is Molly. I think I can answer that question. When one is receiving assistance to vote, they may use anyone of their choosing. You can use your child as long as not a 5-year-old can probably help you, but as long as they are responsible enough to help mark the right ballot choices for you, they should be able to assist you.
Thanks.
One more question.
Oh,
Can a relative drop off your mail-in ballot at your county clerk office?
This is Grace. No. They can't. It has. If you're going to drop off if you're going to fill out the ballot, you're going to sign it and turn it in, and you don't want to put it in the mail or UPS or FedEx, you're going to turn it in at your early voting clerk's office. The voter has to go and turn in that ballot. It can't be somebody else. Sorry,
right.
I didn't make the rules.
It's wonderful that all these questions, we had the experts here to answer them. That concludes our Rev Up National Voter Registration Day event. Rev Up, remember, it stands for register, educate, vote, and use your power. National Voters Registration Day. If you know people that are not registered to vote, tell them today is the day to get themselves registered. And Remember, all these resources and more are available if you go to the nationalvotersregistrationday.org website or www.revuptexas.org. Thank you all for joining us today. And remember, together we can make the disability vote count. Bye-bye.